Cussing on the radio. They gotta listen to the Small Driver Show.
It's not on.
Well, you see, Mr. Golden Numbers, they said, that the Outlander was dead, old Meanville was dead, and I had a regular antenna. I didn't know what I was doing. They said all matter of things. They had all these stuff that don't even have a base station making comments on my demise on that end. But right about now, before the year 2009, there'll be a whole bunch of cotton makers on the railroad tracks. So Golden Numbers, if they think they want to do something with the Highlander, just tell them the migration has begun.
I can have my star glasses on, my mink coat with my flip-flops, and I can do some pimping around the Waffle House. Hello, Mr. Prime Minister, 2000, in the cornfields of Indiana, I'm getting on down.
The hammer hits hard.
It's a real good station, so I'm gonna get out of the way. Little squeaker down here just trying. My little bitty station down here where
They want it all, more loud. Preacher man in Northern Cal. Working this 101E, and I just got 255. Can't take it, this whole field. I'm standing
Now it ain't nothing like a Super Bowl operator. Not the cheerleaders and the sideline spectators. They call us band gators, cause we chew haters. And we detect leaders from 10 to 80 meters. You hams can't beat us. But the ball is getting cooker. Survival of the fittest. Now they selling wolf tickets. The handle rustlers, britches, dusters. Some cuss when they get beat. They hating at defeat. And in the cheap seats, them ducks don't compete. Just rooting for their friends with pal talk critiques. And watch out for self-proclaimed ducks. They claim to be a duck with 30 bushels in their truck.
30
going on?
Truck.
20 bushels over there in the truck. What's going on? How you doing, 413?
What's up, Mr. Jimmy Swagger? Welcome, brother. How you doing, man?
Welcome. Good. All is well, man. All is well. What all you had going on today? What was the skip looking like out there on the bowl today?
Well, we're in Florida, so skip was all over the place. Pretty good, man. I had a lot of California, a lot of Colorado, crack up there. In the Evergreens, had a little bit of Michigan skip. I haven't gotten any in the Northeast skip yet, but I'm looking forward to that. But it was a pretty good day, man. Everybody else has different skip, different regions. But down here in Florida, that's what I got, man.
Yeah. I was sitting there, I had a news glimpse come across, and up there, I guess it's Palestine, Ohio. Man, prayers out to them people in that small community, in that small town up there. With all that chemical and all the stuff they've been dealing with up there, it blew my mind. I pulled up the little read on it, and I was going through there, and the news. I didn't even really hear about this. This happened like on the 3rd or the 4th. And now we're where we are. All that time passed, and I was like, wow. I said I didn't see anything, about this until just recently. So prayers out to them people, and passing through all that.
For sure, man. Welcome out. I just want to welcome everybody. This is the 3rd edition Big Hammer Show. We're getting everything squared away. Just bear with us. YouTube channel. We're going to have phone lines in the next couple of weeks, so you guys will be able to call in and give some input. And Donald Fulcher said we both of us came from the same eggs. I want to give a shout out to Donald Fulcher said y'all ducks came from the same eggs.
I see it. But I'm trying to figure out who he is, man. Do I know this guy?
Yeah. Don't put your government name, man. Don't put your government name. Put your CV handle.
Yeah. I want to see a CV handle. You come up here with that, So.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a couple shout outs, man. Everybody that's joining in little by little, man. Kind of give everybody props. I see 123. I see Tony Montana. Who else? I see 148 out of New Jersey. Bonsenyo out of New Jersey, one of the guys from the 26715 channel. Big Shot out of the Hawaiian Islands. Trackmaster, shout out to the boys in Hawaii. Trackmaster out of the wheat fields. Who else we got in here, man? 123, 25 in the corn. Big man in the corn. We got 25. New Kid, Yellow Cab. Man, we got a whole bunch of guys joining in, man, and I just want to shout out and welcome you guys to the show. It's going to be a good one. We got some good guests lined up. But other than that, man, we're gonna just a little rundown, man. We're gonna have, you know, in the past couple weeks we had some old timers come in, some legends, some pioneers, and we're just trying to get a good feel of what the Super Bowl came from for the younger guys on the band, where the Super Bowl is now, and what these guys see in the future for the Super Bowl. Got anything to add to that, Jimmy?
Yeah, that, you know, so much networking. I mean, I want everybody to know, I mean, man, we got day jobs, right? So everybody's got day jobs, and man, he's grinding, I'm grinding, but the networking, man, to keep this thing running and keeping the people involved in this on the backside, you know, it's a lot. It's way more than what I thought it was going to be easing off into it. So, you know, 413, I reached out to a couple guys this past week, and I was on the phone with a guy the other day, and I mean, true pioneer, true pioneer, probably, you know, this guy goes back to 68, 69, 70. And really to conclude what we've been driving since we come here from day one was to gain the knowledge about the bowl, where the bowl come from, and, you know, what was taking place back then and stuff like that, to let everybody kind of run back with us. So I reached out to, you know, a guy, and the first thing out of that guy's mouth, that guy asked me, he said, man, are you a Democrat or are you a Republican?
Damn, right off the bat. Right off the bat,
right? I mean, the guy said, hey, are you a Democrat or are you a Republican? And I mean, you know, I said, listen, man, I said, I'm an independent voter. And I said, you know, I said, I have no shame. I said, I voted the last time. I said, I voted Republican. I said, you know, and so we kick it and we do this and we go all through that, you know, and after I hung the phone up, great guy, super great guy, but, you know, opinionated, which, hey, podcast, or, you know, they drive on opinions, you know? So, all right. So we get through that. And I hung the phone up and I was like, wow. I was like, man, I'm just running a show, you know? I mean, I'm not here to sell a wolf ticket on about a Republican or a damn Democrat or a damn, an independent, you know? I just want to know, do you want to be on our show and bring that knowledge that you got to our show?
I don't care. Yeah. I don't care. You white, black, Puerto Rican, Democrat, whatever. Just talk radio.
It's talk radio. Bring that shit to the table and let's talk radio. And then, you know, I was talking a little, I ran across another guy, and man, this guy has brought so much to 27025. I mean, through the islands, Puerto Rico, I mean, the states, probably the kingdom, everything. I mean, this guy has just brought a ton of stuff. And I said, hey, do you want to get in on this? And I said, you know, let me put you out there. Oh, no, I don't want to get into that. And yeah, I'm a ham guy. And I said, oh man, here we go with this. Mercy, you know, and then we got into another long drug out story, and he's like, how do you feel about hams and this? And I said, man, if you got a hobby and you're involved in your hobby, man, that's your hobby. And to our hobby, we stick with the rules and we stay in our contained or confined area, you know, and we walk in our alleyways and we do what we do, right? You know, but it's such a shame, because 413, there's so many people out there that bring so much to this game.
Absolutely.
From the Spanish side, from where it's from the 28, from the tracks, all the way back to the bowl. There is a few keys that's still out there, man. And I want to get these guys involved, but it's going to definitely take some moving around, and it's going to, like Lights Out in Philly says, he's behind the rock with the hammer cock. So you got to be like that kind of, therefore.
Yeah, but you know, this is a new venue. This is a new platform. You know, it's kind of never really been done the way we do it. It's been done. Some guys do interviews and stuff, which is cool. I have nothing. I'm not knocking anybody, but we're here to cut up. And Jimmy, you know, outside of Power Talk and talking on the bowl, you know, we cut up, have fun. So I could see where these old timers would be like, man, I don't know if I get on that show with Jimmy and 413, man. They might put me in a trick bag or something like that, but it ain't like that. When we're actually doing a serious show, we're going to get to cutting up. Best believe, y'all. We couple shows down the road when we get comfortable, we're going to cut up and we're going to rack kill. But right now, we just kind of easing up in there, getting some knowledge in here. We're going to have some good topics on antenna theory, you know, and bird going forward, bird going back. I mean, there's a plethora of questions, and I know you guys joining in. will give us some of that knowledge. I also want to give a shout out to Butter Boo, one of the females on the Super Bowl. Shout out to her. She's on there.
Absolutely. I just seen her right there. Yeah.
Bullet Bob, 350. Nighthawk, man, they keep coming in, man. I don't want to leave nobody out, but you'll be able to see your comments. Just wave. And most important, click like and share. And you'll see your comments in the front. But other than that, man, I'm excited. I'm excited for what the show's doing, where it's going. We got a lot of good input, you know, and keep the comments coming. Keep the all the questions, because we'll eventually get to them, you know, like in future shows. If you have any questions on amps or watts, anything, just bring it up. 27.025 related. And the guys on channel from channel 28 and 15 and so on and so forth, you guys are more than welcome. You know, it is a Big Hammer show. We try to not exclusively do 27.025, but if you got a Big Hammer, come on down. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah, there's nobody really out. We want everybody. If you're on radio, period, this is for you. You know, this is its own thing. This is its own drive. And the dedication that we put behind this, you know, through the week. I mean, it's all to put the knowledge out there. It's all to keep radio 100. Most anybody who knows me, and I feel what you said, you know, because I had a lot of guys reach out and they said, "Hey, Jimmy, you're gonna be like what you are in Pal Talk." I said, "Listen, man," I said, "this is a more professional platform." I said, "Listen," I said, "we go into Pal Talk, we rat kill, we shoot the shit, we cut up, you know." I said, "This right here is, man, we're actually trying to like sew the quilt, you know. We're trying to like, you know, just keep radio solid to the 100." Now, I tell you, if you're a duck, okay, if you're a duck and you get caught slipping, you possibly might get cased up on this damn show if I got anything to do with it. I can't sit here and promise you that won't happen, okay? You know, so just stay on your P's and Q's. If you rolling big, if you strap big, then hit big is all I can tell you, you know, because like he said, eventually we will get there. But, you know, and like I say, we got a great team set up tonight. We shout out to the producer, Bobby. Shout out to Prime Minister for working with us on the music and being into the hobby, period, and making the hobby what it is today. So shout out the Kingdom. Shout out to the Spanish guys, 26715. Shout out to all them boys. Like I say, shout out to all my friends on 28, the tracks, everybody out there that's with a radio. Shout out to you, and glad to have you up in here in the room with us and on the show with us. So, like I say, your comments do not go unnoticed. Now, you know, Vinny's a lot better with the comments than I am, but I'm set up now. Last week I was really, really pitiful, you know, but I got a little bit better stuff going on over here this week. But I can actually see some of the comments. So I'll try to help Vinny and work through the comments, because you guys' comments, I mean, you have such a big play in this with the comments. You have no idea. So I just want everybody to know that everybody's voice is counted in on this, and we will take it. Me and him do discuss it, and we do talk about it through the week. So
yes, sir.
Big shout out to all y'all.
Yeah, I see Showtime. I see Lil Squirt. I see Controller, Stump Knocker, man. A lot of people just joining in. Welcome again. We got a great show. Like I said, we got some great guests. What you want to do? You got something else to add, or you want to bring them guests back in right away and just get cracking?
No, you know, I mean, we got a lot. This is gonna be a big night. We know. I think with the guests, that one of the guests that we have in here tonight, we will be able to conclude of what we've been driving and what we base. Now, some of the viewers, they might say, "Man, they're talking about that again." But when we started that, we cut a trench, we cut a canal, and I think with this gentleman, I think that we will be able to conclude and kind of put a wrap on it. Now, I can tell you that I can't tell you sitting here behind this screen that me and you together working, I can't say that, hey, we started this and we're going to pin it down to 100%. And this is how the bowl was started. This is how the bowl was founded. I can't guarantee you that, because me nor you was there. We was not back there talking on the radio in 1968, 70, early part of the 70s. So all we're doing is just trying to get the knowledge and somewhat gather it up and just make a conclusion out of it. And that's just pretty much where we're going to be. And then we're going to just take this thing to another level, you know? So yeah,
absolutely.
Let's run with it. Let's go big and run. Let's take off.
Yeah, man. And just like Jimmy said, you know, we're getting bits and pieces from every region. So let's say we get some information from the Northwest and you're situated in Florida, and you're like, wait a minute, that's not how it started in Florida. We'll eventually get to the Southeast region, joining with the Northwest and the Northeast and so on and so forth, and you'll see it join together and how it all came together, because everybody hears different stories on different regions. Just like today, I heard different parts of the country and Skip. I heard, Colorado. I heard Thunder Lips up there in Alaska. Shout out to him too, 1600. I heard them. Meanwhile, the guys in New York and New Jersey, I could hear them in their backscatter talking to the guys in the bayou. So it's all different, things going on simultaneously. And that's how the Super Bowl started also. It was all simultaneous. So we're just trying to get a little picture in everybody's head so everybody can see how it comes together. Hopefully we'll be able to put it together like that. But like right now, we talked to 459. We talked to Miss Foxy last week. She's up in the Buckeye. And we talked to Crack Card up there in the Evergreens. This week, we're going to go a little bit with the Northeast corner. And like I said, we're going to bounce a little bit here and there, different stations, guys that have been around a long time, guys not so long, but we're trying to give you a little bit of flavor of what's going on and how these guys got in the radar. So without further ado, I'm going to bring these two guys from the Northeast corner. We're going to get into the Northeast corner today. And you guys welcome. Let me see. We got Mr. DX Blanket and Heavy Chevy out of New Jersey. What's going on, fellas?
What's up?
What's going on? All right. Great to have you guys. Heavy Chevy, show your face, man. You don't be scared. There you go.
Long day.
Hey, welcome to the show, my friends. Glad to have you on, and we just want to get a little taste on how you guys got started up in the Northeast corner and how things are going in the Northeast corner, man. Welcome aboard. Welcome to the show. Excited to have you guys on, and just want to learn a little bit about you guys. And I know you guys represent Dave May Camp, and you guys represent him well, by the way. So without further ado, man, let's get into it, man. Mr. Blanket. Now, how long have you been on the band, my brother?
I've been in the radio since about 1979.
Okay.
I'll be 55 this year.
Okay.
I stopped dyeing the beard, so now you can tell my age. You know what I mean? But yeah, I've been into it since I was around 11. My neighbor in Philly, there was a lot of car clubs, CB clubs and whatnot, and my neighbor was in a car club, and he got on the CB. He called out to his buddies. Next thing you know, the whole block in Philly filled up with Volkswagens.
Wow.
And from that point on, I was hooked, because the only way you talk to people back then were either in person, on the house phone, or on the CB radio. And that was my first experience. And from there, I was hooked.
Wow, that's cool. What about you, Chevy?
Back in 1975, 76, I got to say, I was like 11, 12 years old. Neighbors had CB radios. I remember they had that whip antenna. Yeah, back in the day, and a couple of my neighbors got me into it, talking on the radio. And then I remember when they showed me the cards. When you talk out of text, they seen the cards.
Little QSL cards.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they got me into it, and from there to now.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I know you talk about QSL cards. A lot of guys don't really know about the newer guys, but back in the day, you have QSL cards with your little handle and like a little duck or whatever.
Yeah,
you had from the state. You had that. That's pretty awesome, man. So now let me ask you guys this: how did you guys get together in terms of getting together with Dave Maiden, and talk a little bit about how you guys got affiliated with Dave?
Well, I met Dave around 19, 20 years old. A lot of guys, but in fact, it started from Mulehead that introduced me to Dave. And from there, we've been friends since then to now.
That's awesome, man.
Mulehead. Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace, Mulehead.
I met Dave probably in '89. That's kind of when the sweep tube situation was going kind of out of phase with the 8950s, the Makos and stuff like that, and the Mobiles. And something new came on the scene that was popular, which was Dave with his transistors. Because before then, we were running Texas Stars and TNTs and stuff like that. And this guy popped up on the scene with these amps that everybody was talking about. They looked pretty crude back then. They were like metal bent over the edge of a table or whatever the case may be, but they were smoking, and eventually it just caught like wildfire.
Yeah,
people
I mean,
dealing with Fancy Dancer. I can't tell about the history without keeping it real.
yes, sir.
Fancy Dancer kind of went around the key down scene, started making it popular, and then it just started catching on. And Mulehead was the first AC guy for Dave. It just caught on from there. So we just been friends ever since.
Wow, that's pretty awesome to hear, man. And you guys come a long way. I know from Dave building the DC boxes all the way now to, AC, huge AC stuff over there in the Northeast corner. I know, and there's a lot of competition. I know right now in the Northeast corner, you got you guys, Dave, you got Koki, you got Muddy Water Boxes still around. You got Koki, you got, man, even some of the DC guys. I don't know if you remember Pony from up back in the day, from up the Northeast corner too. So it's been a tight game, and just glad that you guys are able to contribute, man. And we sure appreciate you guys, man. But what else? What's going on? And if you want to talk about the brand, what's going on? Where it come from, where it's at, and where it's going? Where do you see it going in terms of Dave made stuff?
I really think that back in the day, in the late '80s, early '90s, I think the Dave Made brand kind of cornered the market, so to speak, brought a lot of new things to the game. It started catching on. People started doing different things, and more tech started coming out, whatever the case may be. And then it kind of, it was more choices out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because people saw something that worked, and of course, they kind of followed suit or whatever the case may be. And then Dave kind of pulled back from the mainstream to start his own business. And that kind of made room for the other brands to really get real popular. And then COVID hit years later, recently, and the window opened again, and it looked like it could be promising for the brand again. So here recently, we've brought a lot of our older big boys back. You know what I mean? We got some people that are coming in on the business side, on the management side of things. So the Dave Made brand, we're about to go hot and heavy again this year.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear, man. Now, back in, when I started like in the key down circuit, like in the late '90s, early 2000s, you guys were really running a lot of good stuff in terms of like, remember Camp Lejeune? The guys don't know about Camp Lejeune, one of the biggest breaks ever, man. I guess circa '98 to about 2010, that was a place to be, the place to go, the place to key. And I remember a couple guys. Mulehead was one of the baddest gang of bangers on there with the 1 alternator class, 2 alternator class. And so was Concrete Man. Whatever happened to Concrete Man? Is he still around?
Yeah, he's still around.
Okay.
Still around. I think he's doing something else as far as a hobby goes. I think he's in building race cars and stuff like that. But mentioning Camp Lejeune, that was like the mecca of CB.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you never experienced Camp Lejeune, you really never have experienced the camaraderie and love that this hobby really has brought to all of us. And I kind of got that feeling, to be honest, when we went to Michigan with Low to the Ground and Young T-Bird, 819 and them guys up there.
Mm-hmm.
They have definitely the foundation to be the next Camp Lejeune. I felt the same love when we went up there as we would feel back in the day when we went to Camp Lejeune. It's just amazing to see how many people you could bring together from different walks of life that with so much love, CB being the segue into that. You know what I mean? It's amazing. We have something very special in our hobby.
Wow. Hey, real quick, how many guys would you say is actually in the Dave Made camp? I mean, do you guys have 10 guys, 15 guys? I mean, is it just?
To me, and I don't know how Chevy feels about this, but back in the day when it was all word of mouth, it wasn't any internet, cell phones were just coming out, flip phones and stuff. Everything was word of mouth. It seemed like the whole world was Dave made to me. People from Delaware, people from New York, people from all over the place. And over the years, you know, like I said, there's been a lot more choices in equipment and stuff like that. And with Dave backing out, starting his own business and all, our close knit circle has gotten smaller. We've lost a couple people passed away. Shout out to rest in peace to Mulehead. But right now, I say, how many you think it is, man?
Well, it depends. If you're talking about, there are a lot of people that today got Dave made equipment.
Right.
You know, a lot of them don't say it, but there's a lot of guys out there got Dave made equipment. So I think it's big. He's still big.
But in the immediate circle, just a handful of us, maybe 8 or 10 in the immediate circle. You know what I mean? But it's a Dave made world as far as we're concerned, because if you look around and you talk to some of the guys out there, whatever, they'll tell you that, you know, some of the Dave's philosophies and things that he brought to the game, they're all over the world. People are doing things his way, some of them, and they don't even realize it.
Right. So like
it's
me,
a Dave made world to us.
Dave made world to you. Hey, so I mean, I've known since I come into the game, I got into the game about 11, right? And right off rip, I mean, I learned about the name, the brand. I you know, in my mind, you gather it coming in as a duck, you know, and you say, hey, okay, Dave made camp. It's a camp, you know, there might be 10 or 20 guys somewhere around there, you know. But I know I've seen Dave made AC boxes. And I know I've seen Dave made DC boxes. And there's also, you correct me if I'm wrong, there's guys that has broken off from Dave and they've went out there and they've started doing their own thing. And there's another guy, I think, that he does work for Dave. And I think the logo still stays the same. So what I'm driving at here, what would you found that Dave made camp as? Would you found them more to DC, or would you found them more towards AC, or a mixture of both? Because I know there's both out there.
Well, I think Dave initially, years ago, the brand really got popular from DC, from the DC amps. It wasn't originally, the brand didn't target DC or competition, I should say that, key down. Right. It was just, he started making a product, it caught on, people liked it over what was out there as far as factory amps, because what we discovered early on with Billy D. Williams, number 2 Disco City, going around doing key downs and everything, is that factory amps, you couldn't put volts to them. We discovered volts, like putting volts to an amplifier would make it do more power. But then if you put volts to it, it would burn the boards up. So Dave came out with copper boards and this and that. So the DC stuff got really, really popular. And then he started making AC. You know what I mean? The DC stuff got popular because more people could afford it. It was more affordable.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? But I would say the DC stuff was more popular, but the AC stuff became just as popular with the bigger guys, with the Muleheads and Moses and a lot of different guys like that. But I think the DC, to answer your question, kind of really got the brand really popular.
Right. Would you say,
you asked another part of the question was other people with the brand and all that stuff. If you know, you know.
If you
it's nobody sanctioned to build Dave made amplifiers, but our boy down in Alabama. I mean, that's it. Whoever else is using Dave's name or if you know, you know. That's all I can say about that.
It's just out there. I mean, it happens. It's just, you know, I mean, so yeah, I totally feel you on that. I mean, as far as you say, you got a lot of stuff going on. It's about to blow up bigger than ever. I mean, I know you don't want to really put it all out there. You can't probably put it all out there, but we can dig in. We can kind of enlighten on a few things for the viewers and give them a sneak peek or something, you know. Just some for the viewers, for us, what just kind of break the water back a little bit, like what's coming? What can we expect out of the camp?
We're going to go more mainstream and affordable with the wideband audio, modulators, radios, like you see back here. That's a full-blown transmitter back there. But we're going with something that's more compact, more affordable, but still using the technology to keep the signal within the parameters of a channel, avoid bleed over and stuff like that. So we're going to put a affordable radio transmitter out there, mobile and base. And we're really going to dig in and try to capture the LD MOSFET market for the mobile and for the base station. Because as we all know, the steel tube resource is drying up with the medical field, with the military, the surplus and stuff.
Yeah.
And 2879s, they work okay, but they're inefficient and they're not affordable anymore. Right. So it's time for something new. Dave's been doing LD MOSFETs for 15 years for other frequencies. It's just a matter of switching it over, making it work for our frequency, and it's all good. We already got the stuff developed. It's just a matter of putting it out there, you know, making it affordable. Right.
Is Dave, so like, we won't dig too deep, but this pretty reasonable question, I think, across the board for everybody in the show. Are you guys still gonna stay with the switchers, or are you gonna get with the transistors that you can just plug straight into the we'll call it plug and play, or you want to talk about any of that, or?
Well, we'll leave something to be desired. I can just say that Dave.
Jimmy trying to pull some strings over there. See,
something to be desired. Jimmy Swagger, he's not trying to peel back the layers. He's trying to go deep down in the pocket through the ankle. You know what I mean? Hey,
so while we're sitting here shooting the shit and ain't nobody listening, you know, it's just us four. You know, I mean, okay, so when you say affordable, I mean, you got me intrigued over here. When you say affordable, we're thinking for the working man. You know, we all know that this stuff is super expensive. You know, we got to put our nickels together. If we want it, we get it. If we can't really afford it, then we budget ourselves and then we go get it anyways if we want it, right? So, right. When you say affordable, I mean, and you're coming out with this modern technology with the transmitter like you showed us behind you or whatever. What's going to happen with the Collinses? What's going to happen with the Johnsons? Are we gonna retire those old irons, or what are we looking at here?
You're never gonna retire the boat anchors. You're never gonna retire the tram. Listen to Godfather when he comes out there on this tram. You could never retire boat anchors and trams and Brownings. You can't retire them, but you can introduce something else. You know what I mean? To include it in what's going on, because now, let's face it, technology changes overnight. And when you hear a Dave made transmitter on the band, I don't know if maybe nobody in here had ever heard one, but when you hear a Dave made transmitter on the band, normally a person will be like, I want to sound like that. So versus buying something that costs $17,000 like behind me, we're going to put something out that's more affordable, compact. You know what I mean? It's a market for it, because there's other folks out there with modulators and radios that sound a certain way or whatever, and it's a market for it. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this: Are you guys steering this in a direction that if a part breaks, that the operator can reach out, buy a part, and replace his own part, or will they have to like load that thing back up and carry it back?
Well, I mean, it's really, it depends, but I mean, you're talking solid state. It's not really a lot to break. You know what I mean? If you follow the instructions when you get it and you run equipment within the parameters.
Man, you talking about CBAs on channel 6. Ain't nobody gonna run anything on the parameters.
They get that stick put on them.
Put 5 watts in it and it should do this.
Start cranking it to the right.
Get keyed on.
Like
You know
all
what I
power,
mean?
like all power in Georgia says, balls to the walls, baby.
Yeah, yeah, you can't help it, man. It's like riding in the car next to somebody, and when they start passing you, your foot automatically goes to the floor. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, no, that's some
What's
good
up,
shit.
Chris?
That's some real good shit. You know, I mean, you guys, I mean, that's why we got you guys on the show, you know, to get a little history, to get a little where you guys are right now, what's current in the game. You know, and like I say, I know you can enlighten the viewers, you can enlighten us and on some stuff, but some stuff we just can't talk about. And you'll let us know. You know, I'm not scared to ask the questions. You'll
No,
tell
I
me if
do
you
that.
can answer them. You know, I mean, you're gonna let me know. So, but for my viewers, everybody, my viewers know that I will ask some questions. So
You're supposed to. You got to ask the difficult questions.
man, you know me, man. I'll ask them. Hey, but you know, I got just one more right off the top because I get so many people that hit me up. What is the deal with the Rod of Gods, man, that you guys was doing? What is going on with those antennas?
I mean, it's just about supply and demand. There was a time where when the Rod of Gods were really introduced to the game and we were using them, or people that came through the camp wanted antenna systems and Dave would build them for them, and we would go to key downs with them. They would outlaw us, like they outlawed the chip or anything that we, you know, brought to the scene through Dave and Dave introduced, and we would win with it. They would outlaw it. So they outlawed the Rod of God. So, you know, production of it just went down because who you gonna sell it to? You know what I mean? A guy will buy it and set it up to shoot skip, but the Rod of God, it really got famous from a key down that we went to back in the day in Florida with our boy Rock and Roll
Daytona Beach.
Daytona, yeah.
Daytona.
Right there by the racetrack. I remember
with
that.
the
Back in
little-
96, 97.
Yeah, with the little pickup truck with 3 antennas, Rod of God, and just took the heads off. You know, that's kind of controversial right now. I don't know. You might want to get Todd on here. You might want to get Weed on here. He might be able to, after so many years, release the truth. But you know, that's where it got popular. But kind of production went down the drain a little bit because the guys couldn't run them in key downs, and people would buy them here and there to run them for skip and whatnot. But I mean, Dave already developed a newer style. It doesn't use that glass capacitor. He does it a certain way. You know what I mean? And back to the radio thing real quick. Those digital radios, the transmitters, Dave can remote into them and fix them.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's another plus with them. Yeah, he can remote. It's basically a big gaming. It's a big gaming computer. You know, the bigger, even the smaller one that I had in the Mobile recently with a laptop. I went off air for some reason. I called Dave. I was like, I'm off the air. He said, where you at? I said, I'm on my way to the shop. He said, pull over in emergency lane. I pulled over. I hit the hotspot on my phone. He logged in right to my laptop and fixed my transmitter. Boom.
Wow. That's some next level stuff. So is that 434 Talk said, I know he's part of the Dave May guys with you guys. He says he's on a cordless mic. Is that what he's talking about?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, Steve, Jimmy, I'm sorry.
Cordless
so
life.
So you guys got this transfer. You're coming out with the transmitters, and you say that you know you're going to put a market for the FETs and this and that. Are you guys like, for the average working man out there, are you guys going to put a kit together to where a man can come in, spend one chunk of money, and get like a radio, a transmitter, and then a FET box? Are you gonna set a combo up like that? Are these things going to be compatible with all the FET boxes, or there's going to have to be mods, or what's up with that?
There's you know,
looks like we got a little.
But
there you go. I lost you for a second.
LD MOSFETs, as you guys probably know, they're more efficient. So, you know, you gotta do a little modification as far as running a regular radio with them or whatever. They don't require a lot of drive. They don't require a lot of current to run them. So it's going to be it's going to have to be something like that, kind of like a combo or whatever. And Dave has ways of calming down, so to speak, a normal radio. So say if you buy an LD MOSFET amp and you want to run it with your regular radio that you already have, then he'll have something where it can adapt to a regular, you know, CB radio,
Right.
so you can run it.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's real good. Yeah.
That's awesome. And looking at that transmitter back there, you know, whenever I hear somebody with good audio, I know it's either Dave May guys, you know, I'll name them all right off the bat. 333, number 2 Disco City, with that quality audio. Sidewinder Dave, and you know, it's in comparison like Motormouth Mall, D-Rail's putting out some good products too. So whenever I think about good audio, when I hear good audio, you guys always pop up on the top of my head, man.
Sure.
So props to you guys. And I remember Heavy Chevy when he in the Mobile, and man, he's over there hiding in the corner though. But I want to give you your props too, man. Been around a while, and I appreciate you joining us. And man, I'm gonna see if I get some questions. If you got anything else, Steve, I'm gonna ask the guys that are tuning in if they have any questions. I'm gonna try to get to a couple questions. So if anybody has any questions, just type them in. Don't forget to like and share, and see what we got for the guys. The Dave May camp. We got DX Blanket and Heavy Chevy out of New Jersey and Philly, respectively. So give us a shout and see what we could ask them. And anything else, Jimmy?
Man, I got tons, man. I'm just sitting here and I'm just.
We can sit here. We can sit here all night. I know.
Stay out my pocket, Jimmy. Stay out my pocket, Jimmy.
Yeah, these guys, you know, I mean, we didn't bring these guys on here to interrogate them. We brought them on here for knowledge, man. To just, I wanted to pump their minds a little bit and see where they're at in the game. But you know, both of you guys, this question's for both of y'all. I mean, like, from where y'all have been and where you are current. I mean, where do you see the game? Where do you see the game going with all the animosity that's out there with the competition? You know, up there, a lot of competition, a lot of animosity up there in that northeast corner. I mean, we can talk about a ton of shit. I mean, but we ain't gonna get into that bullshit tonight. But I mean, where do you guys see it all going? Where do you see it coming, and where do you see it going?
What do you say? It's the Super Bowl. That's what I say. The game, it's just CB. It wasn't for CB, we wouldn't even know each other. It's a lot of fun. To me, it's a lot of fun. It's just competition out there. You know, it's all about Mother Nature. It's all about the Watts. It's Mother Nature. So all is good.
I think in my opinion, it's promising. I think that it's up to the guys that've been in the game for a long time to lead by example. You know what I mean? I think we have to maybe change the terminology from saying fighting to maybe saying sparring or match or whatever, because some of the younger guys, they're very competitive, and they might not be as seasoned as some of us to be able to engage in friendly competition like a basketball game, a game of pool, or whatever. Right. Even when you're a young kid, you're taught sportsmanship. When you finish the game, win or lose, you go by each other. You say, good game, good game, good game, and you go cry in the locker room or cry in the car with your mom. You know what I mean? So we have to lead by example, and you know, just show the guys that it's not really a fight per se. It's not personal. It's just friendly competition. That's what the Super Bowl is about. You want to, if you don't want all the back and forth and the skull dragging, whatever, the ragging on each other, go to a channel where they don't do that. That's what happens on the Super Bowl, is where the big boys from. So you can't come to the Super Bowl with thin skin.
Right. When you guys were 11 and 12, when you guys were 11 and 12 years old, and you're talking back in what'd you say, 60, 69, 70, 71, 79. When you come in there around 79 through 80, 85, I mean, what was going on the bowl back then? That's not what was going on. Is what you seen back then. Let me get my question right. What you seen back then, do you guys see it now, or is it different, or is it way different with the younger guys now?
Well, you got to go back, because back in 75, 76, 77, a lot of people had that many watts back in the day.
There you go.
That's most of the watts I know that people had maybe 100 watts or 200 watts back in those days. If somebody had 1,000 watts, you were a big man back in those days.
Say that one more time, Chevy.
I said back in the day, 75, 76, you had most watts you were doing maybe 100, 200 watts. Now in these days, you're doing 10,000, 20,000 watts. So that's a big difference. And I'm going back when I was that young then.
As far as
There was
power
one
goes,
point.
yeah.
There was one point I wanted him to hear. I wanted him to repeat it where he said 1,000 watts.
He was
You
a
were
big man.
He was a big man.
That's true.
That's what
Back in those days.
Back in the day, if you had a Browning, a Tram, a Moonraker 4, and a triple stage Phantom, or a Golden Falcon, or a Golden Eagle 500, you was the man.
You was the man.
And then the boys, Cali always been ahead of us. So when the Glen Boys and 766 and all them guys, we was running Phantoms and Golden Falcons and all that crap. They were already running 3,000s and 6,000s and stuff out there. So you know we were kind of behind the times. But it was times back in the day. You turn your CV on, despite the power, Skip would be rolling all day, every day, to the point where you couldn't even talk local.
That's right.
So it's kind of getting back to that when the Skip cycle's in there. It's just you can predict what's going to happen. Over here, we hear the islands. We hear our boy down there in the islands that run the islands. We hear our boy down there all day, all morning until about maybe 9:30, and then he falls off, and you start hearing Texas and stuff like that. But in the morning, back in the day, up in this area, the guys would do a lot of ground waving. You know what I mean? And then after that, the Skip would come in, and it just be Skip all day, every day on every channel. I mean, 20, 30 dBs all day.
All day. Do you feel like? Go ahead.
No, I want to get to the questions real quick, and then if it's all right with you guys, I mean, I got my thumb on the thing with the question.
I was going to ask him one more question. The only question I wanted to shout out and shoot over to him, Blanket, is do you feel like that a lot of guys out there on the band are paying way too much attention and too much focus and time into these water gates of, I mean, because like I'm sure yourself, when you're talking on the radio, you know what you're doing on the radio. Do you really need to put that much attention and focus into water gates to hear yourself again or to rebuttal it? What do you think about that?
Well, yeah, I think, in my opinion, I think water gating is changed, because years ago we would water gate with a cassette player and a cassette tape, and you know, maybe throw the tapes on the side somewhere, and years later, or maybe weeks later, to make a point about something, we would get together in the park and be like, "Oh, I got the Watergate of what happened." You know what I mean? So the Watergates are, it's good from a historical perspective. It's good to have that stuff years later to remember people by. You know what I mean? I think it's a good thing. You know what I mean? It's history. It's like an old film or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? I think it's a good thing. I like it myself for that reason. You know what I mean? For just historical purposes. You know what I mean? I got a shoebox of tapes right now because we used to go in the park, coffee shop in Delaware. Pony would come, Billy D would be there, Muddy Waters, Dave, and we would go down there and shoot out Friday night. We stay out there till 4:30 in the morning. You hear the birds chirping, and we'd be Watergate. And some of those tapes are still around, but some of the people aren't. So from a historical perspective, yeah, it's good. People can overdo it with anything.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But I think from a historical perspective, just something to save, to hear those voices. I listened to a Watergate the other day. Golden Arm was on. It was the day before he got electrocuted. You know, it was like Christmas Eve or something, like back in, I don't know when it was, 93 or something, whenever it
Well,
was.
I think 98. It was back in 98.
Something like that. Yeah. Yep. So, you know,
Rest
from
in
that
peace, Golden Arms.
Yeah, rest in peace. Well, biggest hammers in Florida. Real quick,
Yep.
before I get lose track, you were talking about 1,000 watts. You were the man. Machete over there on the West Coast, one of his sayings, like, everybody has a big box. Everybody got a big box. So with that being said, he asked the question is, how much power are we looking for in the MOSFET boxes? If you give us a little glimpse, you know, like one transistor equals what, or how you're going to do them with the volts, and if you could just kind of like elaborate a little bit on the MOSFETs.
It depends on which devices you use. You know what I mean? It's 1,200 watts for a single device, 1,800 watts. It just depends on which devices you use. They do different power. You know what I mean?
So different applications.
The main thing about MOSFET technology is that MOSFETs are easier to run and they're more efficient. You know what I mean? A 2879 is like, for the current and the drive and all, they might be 45, 50, if that much efficient, where a MOSFET is in the 90 percentile efficient, which means you don't have to run as much current, you know, as much juice to power it up, and you don't have to run as much drive. You know what I mean? I just had one in line in my mobile with an up converter power supply that converted regular voltage to 50 volts. And I was driving it with 1 watt peaking 12, and it was almost doing full power.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's efficiency. Another guy named Jojo Gessner, I don't know who that is. Hey guys, put your CB handle when you ask this question. Where he said, when is the Javelin coming to the market?
I believe about midsummer, but that design has been revamped a little bit.
What is that for the viewers?
Look a little different. It's basically that antenna that looks like an ice cream cone.
Okay.
You know, it's that ground plane. Takes a lot of power. They've changed the design of it a little bit, so it's going to look a little different, but perform the same way.
Awesome.
Real quick, 413.
Yes, sir.
For the viewers, as an ear sake on this, are you guys going to market like a 2 transistor, a 4 transistor? Are you just going to build what people want, kind of be all over the place with it, or are you guys coming out with a 2 and a 4 and a 6 or 8, or what's up with that for the viewers?
I believe the plan is just to come out with something small and then just build it up from there. It'll probably be in pairs.
Right. Like a 2 pill or something, you say?
Yeah, like two devices, 4 devices, 6 devices, like that. Because then you have to build, you have to build combiners, and it's other things that go along with this.
So it's fair to say you're going to start the market off with like a 2 transistor setup.
Yeah, probably 1 device and then 2, and then fill the market out and then go up from there up to probably something that'll do 20, 30,000. You know what I mean?
Right.
It depends on the buyer.
Well, that question,
Depends on what they want to spend. Yeah.
I just saved a lot of people a lot of phone time right there by that question. Trust me.
Hey, real quick, also, this is going to be the last question I'm going to take. I see Big John Stud. It's going to kind of be a little edgy question. He keeps asking it, so I'm just going to go ahead and ask it. You can answer if you want, if you don't have to. But is there any animosity between the Dave May guys in New Jersey in comparison with the guys in Alabama? That's a question that's been asked like 3 or 4 different times by Big John Stud. Is there any type of animosity? Is there any hatred or anything towards Dave down there in Alabama? I don't know what it's about. I'm just asking.
No, not at all. No hatred. No.
That's a strong word.
We're partners.
Okay.
We're a collaboration, and we're actually going to bring some other like-minded people into this thing because we're back in the game. So we're back in the game. We're partnering up with whoever wants to bring something exciting to the market and be part of it.
That's fair enough. I'm just asking the question, brother. You threw it out there. I'm just throwing it out there. That's a great answer. You know, but it's all good, man. Hey, Chevy, what you doing back there, man? You really
I'm daydreaming. He been working all day. He's probably still feel a little wet from here. He back there daydreaming.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, man. Well, man, anything else, Jimmy? Man, I appreciate these guys coming on. You got anything else to add?
Well, so like everybody does this for egos, right? We're all ego driven. We're all ego based. You know, you got a lot of guys, big hammer guys, big strappers. They say, "Oh, I ain't got no ego." Well, you know, they got egos because, you know, when they get their ass whooped on 27025, they disappear. You know, they can't put that hammer down. They can't do what they want to do. Them some bitches come up missing in action. You know, you don't see them for 2-3 days, 2-3 weeks. You know, they bounce back off in their little spot, you know, and get back around the radio or whatever and be like, "Damn, bro, where you been?" "Oh, you know, the sweet thing had me tied up, dog. The job had me working overtime and all this bullshit," right? But the real fact of life is, you done got his ass yoked off out there on the van. Can't get that paper stacked right. You know what I mean? Can't get around that technician. Can't get around that technician. Get them wires reworked. You know what I mean? And get back on the radio. So you know, I mean, where do you guys? If you had to say, like, if you left here tomorrow, because nobody's promised, if you had to say, what would you want to be remembered as? Chevy, this is you too, homie. This is you too, Chevy. What would you guys, in your own words, you know, for us, the viewers, the world, whatever, in your own words, what do you guys want to be remembered as?
Well, personal, one of the CV friends. I've been around the CV a long time. I've been in the game. I've been on a lot of key downs, won a lot of key downs in my time. Like I said, it wasn't for the CV, we wouldn't even know each other. So I love the sport. This is my hobby.
Real talk. What about you, Blanket?
I'd want to be remembered as just a friendly guy that just like to have fun and enjoy people and enjoy the hobby. You know what I mean? That's my thing. When I go around, I love people. I want to listen to the big guy's story about who he keyed on, and I want to listen to the guy's story that comes up to me and tell me he talked around the world with a barefoot radio. Everybody's story is relevant. You know what I mean? You think of an old man at the end of his life, and you see him laying in the bed about to take his last breath, and you can't see him for that. He's got a history. He's got a story.
Absolutely.
He's got something to tell. So everybody's relevant, and I just like to be remembered as a guy that loved people, loved the hobby, man, and just, you know, did what I could to bring people together.
True. I couldn't answer to know better.
Yeah, man. You got a bad attitude shouting it out, saying what's up.
What's up, bad attitude? What's up, Carolina Super Transmitters?
In the house too. We go eventually get to every kind of crew like this, because I like, you know, I like having groups of people like the Dave May camp. I like to get some Ghost Rider guys, you know, so on and so forth, to see their experiences and see how they evolve from the past and now into the future. And you got Dave May, you know, always been kind of, in my opinion, a step ahead of the game, you know, in terms of builders. They've been 10-8 since I can remember. I've been around a while. I still got an M80 somewhere in the garage. So
and it still works from 30 years ago.
It's still
keying up and do full power. Hey, listen, real quick. I got one of the big men just walked in the house. One of the original CEOs, OGs from the Dave May camp. Okay. He just got back in the game maybe a couple years ago. Come on over here, number 2.
Hold up. Y'all put a 3-stool together real quick.
This is the real number 2 from Disco City, aka Big Train.
What's going on, Daytona?
What's going on, my brother? How you doing, man?
Good. Nice to see you guys.
You too, man. Boy, you got that station smoking, man.
Yeah, we're working hard at it. I mean, we're back for the people. So
yes, sir.
We just want the word to be out. Me and Dave are taking it serious, and we're in the game for real. So hopefully everybody will see us in Augusta in a few months.
Awesome, man. Oh, you guys gonna get back there? Oh, hold on.
Oh, we're coming.
You don't let the cat out the bag. You don't let the cat out the bag. I haven't seen a true Dave May. Is it gonna be AC now?
We're coming to fight, Daytona.
All right, looking forward to seeing you guys, man, for sure, bro. Good to see you, man.
What
Nice to see
class?
you, fellas.
Since you done peeped that out, go ahead and tell us what classes y'all boys gonna run in.
You can't let it out.
Well, I'm not. He don't want me to give up too much information, so I'll keep it on the low down. But we're figuring zero to sky.
Really?
We're coming back to fight.
Hey, 413. I might have to tip out on that.
We're gonna let it rest. Because you know what? Hey, we might have to rebuttal and come back with another, because we got a show coming up that we're gonna dig into some of that stuff too. So we might have you guys back on, man.
That's what's up.
Be a pleasure.
Hit us up on DaveMadeAmps.com on Facebook. DaveMadeAmps.com. That's also our website. We're working to change some stuff up, put some more pictures, put things in out there so you guys can order them. We took some big orders today for some of the guys out there. So we're back in the game, man. We're gonna ramp this thing up.
Real quick, before you guys jump for the viewers and for
Man,
myself.
we could keep you all night. You see Jimmy, I'm getting Jimmy going. Jimmy's going. Look. He's like real quick.
Hey, I gotta ask this. It's fresh on my mind. I want the people who's young and they don't know, because I don't know, and it's inquisitive. I'm inquisitive about it. I'm intrigued about it, really. Do you guys work like a 9 to 5, or do you guys are you guys that busy that you like show up at a shop and work on this stuff all day, 5 days a week?
Yeah. So right now we're running 3 different shops. Like Blanket said, for many years we just kind of pulled back. Our business and Dave's engineering goes into other fields. He's involved in design for medical field. A lot of this equipment is used for other things, basically the same stuff, but it really originates in other places. So that's where he's been specializing. Me and Dave have, we've been good friends since we were kids, 16, 17 years old. Of course, I'm married to Dave's sister for 40 some years. So we're family. So we both made a decision here in the last year or so that we're going to do it one more time. So we have 3 shops running. We have Birmingham. Chris down there is an amazing guy doing work for us. We got 2 shops in New Jersey running. So we got a crew of people. They're in there 6:30 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon building. And right now we're stacking inventory. So Blanket's going to be announcing soon on Facebook that the door's open. Here we go. And I told Blanket we're going to open the time machine. We're going back to 1980 and we're starting this thing over. So we're coming at it. We're going to give it our best here. We're old men now in our 60s, but we're going to try one more time to give the customers what they want and put the name of the brand back on top of the game again.
I'll tell you, that's awesome news. But I'll tell you real quick, and I'll let 413 wrap it and cap it. I'm telling you, I've been in the hobby. Well, I've been in the hobby forever, since I was a youngin'. But I tell you, I've been on the bowl since 2011, early part of 2012, and man, I've probably owned most of everybody's boxes. I think I even owned a 3-tube 500Z, I think Dave made box or something. And I'm going to tell you, I have never heard anybody dog you guys. So keep up the good work. Good job. I'm super happy you guys was able to get around the round table and come up in here and shoot the shit with us and be a part of this and help us grow. So congratulations to all of us.
You guys are doing a great job, and we appreciate you.
Appreciate it. Real quick. When back in the day in the camp, when we're talking about Camp Lejeune, I'm gonna go way back, and I got a hold of Concrete Man one day, and he opened the box and he showed me the numbers he did with 1-3000. Back in the day, I was like, man, that's double the output of what I'm doing, man. So you guys were way ahead back then. My props to you. And hey, show's always open. Whenever you guys want to promote anything, man, we appreciate you coming on the show and give us a little glimpse of the history of the Dave Made Camp. And good things coming. Whatever you got to promote something, don't hesitate. Give us a holler. We'll put it out there.
Yep. And again, just in closing, Daytona, we always give our success and our allegiance to some of the great guys that led us, like Prime Minister, 766, Yellow Jacket. When we were kids, they told us call anytime, helped us out, and they're a part of why we're here today.
Awesome, man.
That's what it's all about.
Thanks, fellas.
Thanks. That's number 2, Disco City. We got Mr. DX Blank and Heavy Chevy. I think he's taking a nap because he had a long day. But thanks for cutting.
There he is.
Heavy Chevy.
Still there.
Hey, thank you guys for having us, fellas.
Yeah, have a good one, man. Another one in the books, man. We said, hey guys, don't go nowhere. We still got another great guest. What you think, man? That's some good stuff right there, Jimmy.
Yeah, I enjoy talking to guys like that because, man, they bring so much, and they're limited to what they're going to talk about, and I would be too. But for the viewers, for the inquiring mind, for people coming into this and really not wanting to go AC, these guys heard a lot of good shit tonight. I know we got a lot of people in the room that's not wanting to go AC. They're wanting to go FETs, and they're wondering when the FET box is coming. Who's coming with the FET box? Even myself, what's happening in the FET world. So, there you go. Did we get a solid this or a solid? No, but we have something that we can gear towards, and we get them guys back on there. We help them guys promote what they want to promote, and, we learn together. But them guys are awesome guys, man. Like I told them, I said, man, I've never heard anything bad about the Dave Made camp. It's just through this show, through this podcast, I finally get to put a name to the face with some of those guys.
Absolutely. And it's one reoccurring theme that I'm seeing now is the cost effectiveness now, man. Now the tubes are becoming obsolete. The 20,000s are becoming $7,000-8,000 per tube. The 15,000 is 5,000. So now I think there's another different way, which DX Blanket and them touched upon in terms of MOSFETs and stuff. I think that's where we're eventually going to gear up to. And the transmit, they got a beautiful sound, man. When I hear Sidewinder and number 2 coming out and 333, they whether you like the people or not, the stations are 10-8.
They're 10-8, bro. They're competitive. Them
Absolutely.
Guys are running, and they bring big energy when they bring to the band. So and like you said, the way the tubes and stuff is going, the way the power supplies and the builders of the power supplies, we got put on game about another drop, another plug down in Texas, but it's still getting to the point that this shit is just it's coming down to it's not affordable no more.
No,
it's just not. There needs to be a new light, so these guys might be that light. They might be bringing that to the table for a lot of us. So we just got to sit back and see. It's kind of like wrestling, man.
Yeah.
Wrestling. I remember wrestling. I was a big wrestling kid fan, right?
That's right.
Wrestling. You don't know who the hell is going to take it.
We're going to take a quick 2-minute break, man, because I know I drank like 2 cups of these Yetis, bro. 2 of these suckers. And I know you guys could load up on the popcorn. We'll be back. Hey, Bobby. Hey, Blackjack. You back there? Mr. Blackjack? All right. We're going to go on the break. We'll get with you guys in 1 minute, 2 minutes. And we're back.
We're back.
We're back. We live again, man.
That was the first time we ever took a commercial, so make sure we got our audio back up in here on the show.
We good, man. I don't like getting commercials, but I drank 2 of these big old Yetis, and man, nature came calling, man. But what you think, man? What you think about that last segment?
I think it was awesome. I mean, put a good layout out there, format, everything. It was solid. I was blown away by it, to tell you the truth. I got the phone over there. I went and checked the phone. I probably got, I don't know, maybe 50, 60 damn calls probably I missed. Crazy. But it was awesome. There were some really, really good 10-8 guys, man, and they brought a lot to the table up here tonight on the show. But well, we're gonna move on. We're gonna keep the energy coming, the big energy. So the next guest, we got Godfather in the ATL. He's gonna be joining us here. And there he is right there. So all the viewers, and we can welcome you in. Hello, Godfather in Atlanta, Georgia. Do we have audio on him?
I'm trying to pull him up his audio. I don't know what's going on. Hold on, we're gonna have to bring him back in.
Well, we just have to work right through this.
Huh.
Well, we had a couple little technical difficulties with him a while ago, and I thought we had got it all kind of resolved, but either way, the show's going to go on. If we can't get him in here and we can't keep him in here on video, then what we'll do is we'll get him up in here on the phone somehow, some kind of way. And
we'll get him on. I think he has to plug in his mic. That's what it's saying, because I'm trying to give his audio up and it says he has to plug his mic in. But hey, there sure is some good eye candy right there in the background, so we can at least stare at that until he gets it straight.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, I tell you one thing. Godfather, when I reached out to Godfather and Godfather was willing to come on the show, I totally felt like, where we were and what we had discussed and what we had talked about, I figured he was the one solid that could bring us in and drive us home on concluding the origination of, the Rooster Channel jumpers and how the bowl affiliated and how it started and, stuff like that. So if we can get him on, we can, IT,
if you could get a hold of Godfather, tell him he has to he has to plug in his microphone. That's the issue. He doesn't have a microphone. So that's what the issue is. So we could get some audio on him. But in the meantime, man, we could get some questions from the viewers until he gets it straight, man.
Let me get on the side real quick. Let me get on the side and see if I can't straighten this out real quick. Take some questions, and I'm going to try to figure this out that way, because I definitely want to get him on, and I definitely want to get all of his knowledge and lay it out here.
Okay, I'm gonna go through some of the he got out, so Jimmy's gonna go ahead and take care of that real quick. I'm gonna entertain some of you guys' questions. I'm gonna go down here to some of the questions over here. Down the phone just said amplifiers are illegal. This is a 4-watt show. All we do over here is 4 watts. Just for the record. Mahalo Daytona and Jimmy, nice show. That's from Big Shot over there in the Hawaiian Islands. And I'm gonna put this up too, because they're gonna have a break coming real soon. And just to give y'all a little bit of information on that, so you guys can write it down right there. Big Island, Hawaii meet and greet, March 18, 2023. I cannot say that word, and forgive me for the guys in the Hawaiian Islands, Yupa Hoho Beach Park. I hope I'm saying that right, but that's Big Island of Hawaii meet and greet, March 28th. Let me see, we got BA in the house, RF Burns, 27 Bushwhacker out of Indiana. We got let me see who we got. Jojo, a Blanket, if you're still out there listening. Jojo said to bring back the Dave Made theme song to the website. Shout out to DX Blanket from Tony, Montana. I see Real Black Man out of Connecticut in the house. Muscle Man is a shout out to Muscle Man. Appreciate the love, Jojo. He said the show rocks. We got Brown Hornet. We got a lot of people in here, man, tuning in. Jimmy's in the background trying to get Mr. Godfather ATL's audio right so we could do this interview with him and get back to the there you go. Let me see. Let me unmute him. Any good news, Jimmy?
Well, we're going to try to bring him back in one more time. And if it works, then we'll run with it. And if it don't, we're going to go to phase 2. That's Jimmy's phase 2.
Uh-oh,
we go pull a cat out the bag on this.
You like bus driver. So what is
The
it?
show will go on. I promise you.
You're gonna be like bus driving Jordan. We got to go to DEFCON 5 now.
Yeah. The bus driver, drink the wine, okay?
We got 125 in the house. Let me see. I'm just shouting everybody. 123, Chicago. Who we got out here? We got IT. We got Mr. Ellis down there in the Bahama Islands. What's going on, my brother? Controller. Love the app, Controller, by the way. Appreciate it, man. BA, I saw BA in there. We got 5-4 out of Alaska. Shout out to the guys in Alaska, him, Thunderlips. Who else we got? I'm just trying to go down the line, and I don't want anybody to feel left out. We got Showtime Hawaii. We got Big John Stud in the Carolinas. Who we got? We got pretty sure I got the Cats. It's always not. Well, yeah, it's always on Fridays now. We changed from Saturday 8 p.m. to Fridays now. It's just a little bit easier logistically and try to get everybody in there because Saturdays, a lot of people want to spend time with their families and stuff. So that's what we switched up. Who we got? 973, sometimes called Barry White in Connecticut. Shout out to you. We got Busy B. Busy B's out there. What's going on? Weed watching. I know Weed's watching. Somebody shouted Weed out. Shout out to Weed. Mr. Swamp Weed, the legend of Florida. We got 1600, Thunderlips. Man, let me see. Put your handles in there so I can shout you out real quick, man. Show some love. Frank Lucas. There you go. Frank Lucas. That was Ellis down there in the Bahama Islands. 10-8 brother too.
Frank Lucas, man. That Frank Lucas in the Bahamas, man. That guy's a celebrity. That guy's a celebrity, man. Hey, that dude, man. When he does nothing but lay out the red carpet for these guys, man.
And that's how it should be. Man, he got a wall with people signing his signature over there. The other day, me and him were tussling going up to the Great Lakes. He pulled out some brass knuckles on me and stuff. I was like, oh, hold up. Back it up, man.
I was gonna call him. I was gonna be like, yo, Frank, let me get some talk time, man.
Yeah.
No, Frank. No, I'm gonna tell you something. I'll keep it 100. Frank's got the right attitude, man. Frank's got the right mentality. He's got the right attitude, I think. Because he shows hospitality. He puts out a carpet. He don't let none of them guys come down from the Northeast, none down from the States, without, putting a hand in meet and greet deal. So shout out to big ups, my brother.
Yes, sir.
I like what you're doing. That's why I'm putting you out there. So keep up the good work.
Couple more shout outs before we get into Godfather coming back. I think he's getting in backstage right now. We got Cool Change out of Hawaiian Islands. Shout out to Cool Change. Fred and Mo Fred in Connecticut. Nighthawk in Virginia. Young Snoop Dogg in the house too, man. Shout out to Snoop Dogg and everybody doing big things. Zigzag Man in Oklahoma. Devil Dog, Black Ice in Connecticut, old school. That's a plug. Yeah, man. Shout out to Hambone and more Hambone. Who we got? We got 83 in the mini grass. Barry White. I said Barry White, 217 Western Illinois. Shout out to you guys up there in Midwest Illinois. Number 1 in Maryland. Number 10 on channel 28. Sandbagging on the bowl. Pork Chop. Good evening, Bayou Waving. D-Rail's in the house.
What's up, D-Rail?
Shout out to D-Rail and D-Win, his brother. 10-8 coming, boy. Rocket Box, 33 in the lakes. Keep them coming, man. I'll shut you out. We're trying to get on. I think we're gonna give it another shot, man. Hopefully we can get this legend, this pioneer. Again, we're gonna give it another shot, see what's going on. How about it, Mr. Godfather? Break.
Hello, Godfather in Atlanta, Georgia. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm trying to come back to you, man. I don't know whether you hear me or not. Hold on.
I can hear you right there.
To get back in the studio.
We got you. We got you. Don't touch the thing,
Godfather.
Man,
don't touch the thing, Godfather. Don't touch the thing.
Don't touch nothing over there.
Don't touch anything.
Don't touch nothing over there. You are talking.
Smoking. That's that voice. That's the golden voice right there.
Wow,
hey, Godfather, I chose the wrong hobby because I do not have a radio voice. When I hear your voice, I tell myself, man, I went into the wrong damn hobby. Welcome to the show.
Man, I'm telling you, man, I really enjoyed it, man. I got to say, DX Blanket and Heavy Chevy, man, I really enjoyed that information. I enjoyed all of that. The first half, man, it was really good, man. You guys doing a great job, man. My hats off to you, full time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. But you know, we bring in big energy, GF, and you know, I just getting you on the show. You know, when you picked the call up, I mean, it was great, man, because I figured with the knowledge and the years that you got behind this and behind you, that you know we could bring this to a closure, more or less, is where I was driving with it. You know, and like I told all the viewers and 413, you know, when we put this together and started this, we took off on a platform and a format that we wanted to know we wasn't there. You know what I mean? We wasn't there, and it's hard for people that's not there to tell a story. So the only way to tell the story is to let you know people of that time come back and tell the story. And if you do it any other way than that right there, then you're already you're putting the hoof behind the rear. So, you know, you're just not going to win that away. But, you know, I mean, to start it off, we're just sitting around, we're kicking in on the stools, tables, whatever, you know, and just tell us a little bit about it. Who is Godfather? Who is the man behind the mic that everybody hears on the mic?
Okay, well, let me start this way. I started in radio in 1971, and I went to work one day, and a friend of mine was standing on the dock with a Midland walkie-talkie, and he called a guy. He called somebody, and they came back to him. I said, "Man, I like that. So let me talk on it." But what he would do, he wouldn't let me hold the walkie-talkie. He would mash the button and put it to my mouth and let me talk, and I didn't like that. So the next day, I had a walkie-talkie. My own walkie-talkie, a Midland. So that's when I started in radio, man. I started talking on that thing, man, and I met a lot of the guys around Atlanta, and it just went on from there, man. And the most important thing that I love about CB radio is when you put a face with the voice that you hear all the time, then you know, it's just a connection there. And I did that, man, for a while, man, and I enjoyed it. And we used to call them, we call them breaks now. You go into the break, you go into the break. Well, back in the day, we called them coffee breaks. That's what we used to call them, coffee breaks. And the first coffee break I went to was in Memphis, Tennessee. Big man in Memphis, Tennessee was Barbecue Man. He was a bad dude, man. And we went up there, man, and we had a nice time in Memphis. And he had a big party at his house. And I went to his house, and he said, I was calling myself Rocket Jock, man. That was my handle, Rocket Jock. I work in a radio station. Yeah, I work in a radio station part-time. And I said, since I was a jock, I called myself Rocket Jock on the CB radio.
That's where the voice came from.
So anyway, got on the Barbecue Mans, and I was amazed when I walked in this radio room. I had never seen a Drake watt meter do over 200 watts in my life. His Drake watt meter did 1,400 watts. I was scared to death when I looked at that thing. I said, "Man, what is this?" He said, "That's a Heath kit." "Where did you get that at?" He said, "When Atlanta got that." I said, "I'm ready to go home." He said, "Ain't nobody leaving tonight." I said, "Man, I got to get me one of those things to do them kind of watts." I couldn't believe it, man. So I got back to Atlanta, man, and went on Roswell Road to Heath kit. And I saw him and I walked in. I told the guy, "I want this right here." He said, "Okay, but I have to order it for you." I said, "How much is it?" He said, $379. I said, "Okay." All right. Called 2 weeks later. The guy called me back and said, "Your amplifier's ready." Oh, man, I couldn't wait. I ran red lights, get up there, get that heat. Got back home. It was in 2 boxes. One box just had the tubes, and another box had other stuff. Man, I opened that box up, and I was just sad when I looked in there. All those resistors, diodes, capacitors. I said, "I can't talk. What is this?" I didn't realize it was a kit that had to be put together.
Wow.
I was really, really upset, man. Anyway, I finally got it put together. I probably had about the first Heath kit in Atlanta. And like the guy said earlier on the show, that if you had 1,000 watts back then, you was a bad dude.
Yeah.
So I had 1,000 back then. I was a bad dude. So they caught up with me with crab boxes, 8 tubes. all kind of stuff, man. But a lot of fun, man. I really enjoyed all of that, man. And by the way, I've been hooked ever since in CB radio because I met a lot of people and a lot of good people I met in radio, and I will continue to meet them. If the good Lord keep me around, you know. So, hey,
Right.
man, I enjoyed it, man.
Right. So, like you being, you said 71, 72, or is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. What do you remember? What knowledge can you bring to the platform of the Rooster Channel Jumpers? Because we got so much when we had Crack on, you know, I mean, Crack did an amazing job. And I mean, he touched on so many points. But in your words, in your opinion, in your knowledge, what can you tell the platform about the Rooster Channel Jumpers?
Okay. Man, let me tell you, that was a very interesting time with the Rooster Channel Jumpers, man. But the Rooster Channel Jumpers' main purpose was to bring a lot of black CBers together, you know, and be organized, you know, like in a black radio organization. That's what they was really trying to do. And that's what they did. It was a lot of work. And it started with a chapter up there. Well, it wasn't chapters then, but they put it together up in Chicago. Ned Woods, his name was Flagship out of Chicago. They got it together, man. And what they would do, they would get together with a lot of the major cities. Phone bills were very high back then because you did a lot of calling, man. I did a lot of calling too, man. I'm long distance call back in the day. Right. I thought one time Sarah was going to put me out. She seen that phone bill. But anyway, that's what happened, man. They got it together, man, where they would send bylaws to the major cities, to some of the guys that they talked to on the phone to get them to organize a club, Rooster Channel Jumper. So that went on, and they finally got it organized, and each major city had their own chapter. They had their own members. We all had the same uniform. The uniform was blue, trimmed in gold, with a rope over your left shoulder, and a big red rooster right on the heart.
Wow.
Beautiful uniform. Wait, man, you know, I bought me some doggone combat boots, some jump boots. They had on spit shine when I put my uniform on. But anyway, that was the thing, man. We enjoyed it, man. And the one thing I can remember with the Rooster Channel Jumpers, man, is back in 1978, I believe it was. Wait a minute. Let me get it together here. We had a national break, Rooster Channel Jumpers national break in Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
I have never in my life seen so many CBers. They had over 10,000 people at that break.
Wow. Okay.
They had, man, look here, all day long, buses was coming in from all over. People trying to find all the motels sold out. I think that was back in 1978 when that happened, man. But it was a wonderful break. And a lot of the, right now there is a Rooster Channel Jumper chapter still around up in Cincinnati, Cold Up in Cincinnati. There's a Rooster Channel Jumper Club there. And there are some others, man, but I've been trying to call people to find out who's still around with this. Man, you know, man, since back then, a lot of us gone, bro.
Right.
A lot of us gone, man. And it's hard to get a lot of information from way back there, man. I should have gathered this stuff all the way up, you know, but I didn't, man. But that was in 78. We had that break in Texas. And some of the national officers that was in that, they had national and we had regional, you know, offices. Flagship out of Chicago, Ned Woods, he was the president. Now, this guy I know you guys know, Mr. Easy Rider Sr.
Sure.
One of the national secretaries.
Rest in peace, Easy Rider.
Yeah. Louisiana Slim out of Baton Rouge. He was one of the officers. Chicken Little was an officer. Mule Train Charlie was an officer. There's just a few of the guys that I can remember that was national officers with the Rooster Channel Jumpers. But it was great, man. It was great.
Now for the young viewers, you know, I'd say 50 years of age and younger. I mean, when you say Rooster Channel Jumpers, was it 30 people? Was it 40 people? Was it 15 people?
No. What do you mean? It's about in each city?
Well, when you say Rooster Channel Jumpers, you're talking about world. You're talking about
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I'm talking, when I say Rooster Channel Jumpers, I'm talking about all of the Rooster Channel Jumpers that was a rooster in any city, any of the cities that they was organized in, they was a member. You know what I'm saying? So it was the locals. The locals had breaks. They did things too. But when the national presented a break, everybody came together from all over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
This is deep. This is deep because I mean I'm not from back then at that era at that time. So this is a lot.
We're trying to grasp it.
I'm trying to grasp it. So okay. So if I wanted to become a Rooster Channel jumper, what would be the qualifications that I would have to meet to get accepted into that? Yeah, requirements into that club.
Well, the requirements back then, man, you have to have a radio. That was number one. You have a radio, and they would take your name, your address, and all that stuff, and you was in. It wasn't nothing that you had to go through. It wasn't a whole big process that you had to go through to be a member of the Rooster Channel Jumpers, because we wanted all of the black guys that was around. Let me tell you something, man. It was rough. See, I don't know how long we have here, but Peter, let me tell you something. Well, when I got on radio, all of the guys in Atlanta talked on Channel 11, okay? When I come on, when I left that walkie-talkie, before I got a radio, I got my antenna with some kind of way I can plug it up and ride around Atlanta with my walkie-talkie without letting the window down and let the air in out, you know what I mean? But anyway, a lot of guys back then, man, let me tell you, this is a long story, man. Everybody talked on Channel 11.
We're not limited to time.
Okay, everybody talked on Channel 11, okay? All right. I sit down and listen to Channel 11. I listen to it, everybody. We have a good time through the middle of the week. Friday nights, Saturday night, it was rough on Channel 11 because we was being called burrheads, putsch monkey, niggas. We was called everything you could be called on the radio. Right. And what the guys was doing in Atlanta, they waited Saturday night to try to fight with them, and that's what they did every Saturday. So I said, man, that ain't me. That ain't me. Right. I'm not gonna do that. So I was from the channel, man, and I went down on Channel 6, and I hear these guys talking to other people, black guys. I said, hey, I like that. Then all of a sudden, the guys in Atlanta, like 444s, 109, 222. They would come down, but see, they had different names because they're scared of the FCC. Like 444s, he was 444 on Channel 6. On Channel 11, he was Pitching Man. Right. So everybody had two different handles. So that's what would happen. So finally, man, I messed around. They got me a 500-watt amplifier. I think it was a Hick something. And I told the guys, look, man, I'm not doing this no more. I will not be back on Channel 11. I'm going down on Channel 6, man. He said, man, ain't nobody going to be down there but Quick. Now, Quick was a cab stand that uses Channel 6 as their business to operate their cabs. I said, well, that's all right. I'll just be down there with Quick, because when Skip roll, I won't hear him anyway. So I went to 6, and that's why I stayed. So I changed my name from Rocket Job to 777. So I did that. So I stayed on 777. I stayed there for a while, man. Skip roll, I talked, man. I had a Browning Eagle, and shoot, man, I had a good time, man. Nobody bothered me. But the bottom line, go ahead.
When you, I'm trying to run this in my head. So when you said that, basically you said that you was more or less, you had problems on 11, things, pressure, being called names, and a lot of animosity and word displacements, and just more or less hate, Yeah. You guys was looking for a place to go to 6, and you found 6. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm saying that. Well, I found 6. Then everybody else came, But back then, we didn't call it the Super Bowl. We just on Channel 6.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. You can put it that way. That's the way it was, man. Because that was not me, man. You know, I enjoy talking on radio, and there's one thing I can tell you right now on this right here on this program here on the CB radio, on any radio that you hear me on, you will never hear me use a cuss word. You know, this was not me. So I kind of went to 6 because I felt like that was more like home. You know, I can enjoy it. And I've been here ever since, man. And I've met a lot of people from Channel 6. And oh man, like I was saying earlier, man, when you put the voice with a face, that's amazing.
So when most everybody, so a 6 got originated. We know now how it got originated. So 6 is originated. What when you was established on 6? What was there more to the story? What was attracting to you on 6 once you started off in your CB career?
Okay, this really what attracted me. I was at one of my friends' house, and they used to like Triple Deuce and 411. They had their stations in the attic, man. You had to go up these ladders, man, in the attic, and he's talking on the radio, right? So I thought I was doing good because everybody was coming back to me. But as I left his house, I was coming down those stairs, and I heard them say, and I was on 777, ain't nothing but a duck. He a mud duck.
Right.
So it can't be. He ain't getting across the street. The next day, I went straight to the credit union. I said, I bet I get across the street next week. So, I mean, then I found out it was competitive. Yeah, you know, competitive, but you have to keep it like it's supposed to be. You have fun with it. You can be competitive with fun. You ain't got to be competitive with a gun, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So would you, from what you experienced back then to what you're seeing now, in your words, what do you think? What do you think's going on?
Look, it's power. Now, we got guys probably never been in radio a month, man. They might come in with 10,000 watts and they know they demand, they think they demand, and then somebody take them out with 1,000 watts and then they mad. It's knowledge, man. You got to have it's knowledge. You got to have that. You got to be in it for a while to get that. Now I would ask, my main thing is anybody that's listening right now and they're getting ready to come in radio, make sure that you are able to talk where you live at. So you go out and spend, man, $10,000, $15,000, man, and get home and kill about 4 or 5 times. And your neighbors will stop you from talking. You might not believe that, but they can cut your radio clean off. So all the thing you do is look in that radio room and wave at it.
Did I lag? He's still talking on my end.
So y'all lost me?
No, you're good.
Yeah,
You're good.
Y'all hit this foot. You want me to hit this foot pedal?
No, don't hit the foot pedal. Don't hit the foot pedal. You were still talking. Your lips had stopped on my end, but your lips. It was weird. It threw me for a loop. But in your words, do you feel like okay, like you've been around, you know what I'm listening to go, but like, do you feel like there's a lot of guys out there on the Super Bowl on 27025? Do you feel like they try too hard? Do you feel like they just try too hard to get the lingo, to get the game? I mean, what do you think about that?
No, I don't think they come on trying to try too hard to get the game. I don't know. I don't think they really do on that. But you got some guys that come on, man. They I mean, I don't want to tell nobody to run their station. I made a mistake doing that here in Atlanta, man. I told the guy, you may ask to look. I was trying to help him, but I helped him in the wrong way because I think he got the wrong impression of what I was telling him because he did a lot of cursing and stuff on the radio. And I can imagine, next door, here's a family sitting there with their kids, man, and they got music and stuff on, and here this guy next door come in with all this foul language, Yeah. And I was saying, man, you need to, don't do that, man. Kind of cut that out. I was trying to save him on that, but he took it the wrong way. As if I was trying to tell him how to run his radio station. And then when you look at it on another side, that's what I was doing. So I don't do that no more, right?
Yeah, you can't tell nobody. You can't tell nobody really how to run their radios. I mean, even though we might not like, you know, I might not like how you talk on the radio. You might not like how I talk on the radio, but my game is my game. Your game is your game, I guess.
That's true. That's true.
Do you feel like, what's your opinion on the Watergates and stuff? Do you feel like people pay too much attention to these Watergates and put too much focus in these Watergates versus talking on the radio?
Yes, there are some people does that, man. There are some people that, you know, you can have a QSO, man. You can be down in Florida, man, and you got to have on somebody down in Florida, and somebody want to get in there, man. Instead of them with a conversation, they're gonna go in shootout mode. There's a lot of guys go in shootout mode just to hear their voice on a playback. You know, one. I was in there, man. One. You know, what is that?
Yeah.
A lot of people does it. Some people don't, you know, but that, you know, it's going to be like that. There's so many, you know what I like right now, there are a lot of people still interested in this hobby, and a lot of people are still talking on the radio, and a lot of people still spend a lot of money in this stuff, you know, so we're still here.
Still here.
We're still here.
Yeah, there's I mean, there's a lot of forums out there. A lot of information's getting brought to the table. You got forums, you know, everybody sharing the Watergates, everybody, you know, I mean, even back in 10, 11, 12, you know, when I first, you know, chimed into POW Talk, you know, the belts was a big thing. The belts given out and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, what yeah, you remember the belts. When the belts came to the band, in your opinion, like, what did you see with the egos and the animosity and the competitive that brought with the belts? What do you think about that?
I think the belts was a great idea. You know, the belts, in my opinion, the belts was for people to really get their station together and try to earn one. You know what I mean? Push. But then I think it kind of, I don't know, man. There was a lot of stuff happening there, man, and people didn't. The man that started doing the belts, he was doing it for something good. But a lot of people that got in it, they tried to do it another way, you know. But I think that was a great thing, man, with those belts, man. You have to respect, you know what? You didn't get no belt running on the watch. You know, you got to respect the guys that got the belts, man. And I do. All the guys that received the belt, man, my respect is to them. No doubt about that. Because they put the work in and they got the belt. They earned it. You got to earn it. They earned it.
Yes, sir.
They earned it. Like so we Swamp Weed favorite saying, you got to pay the cost to be the boss.
You got to pay the cost.
To be the boss. Shout out to Swamp Weed for that legend comment.
Hello, Swamp Weed. Good evening to you.
Yeah, I mean, you got anything, Vinny?
Or what? Oh, shout out to Swamp Weed. Shout out to Swamp Weed.
Hey, you went into a daze when I started talking about Swamp Weed. You went into a daze over there.
I was ready to hit my foot pedal right now.
He was already stepping on the foot pedal.
Hey, 36 years on 19. Shout out to Swamp Weed, for real talk.
Yeah,
no, I mean, Godfather, I mean, you got so much knowledge. I mean, we could talk this for 2-3 hours and laugh and drink tea and drink coffee and be here until 6 in the morning, you know. I mean, but
there's a whole lot of stuff, man. I just right now, you know, when you like tomorrow, I'll be thinking a lot of things, man, I could have brought to the table. But you know, right now I just can't come up. I've been around so long. See, I was in radio. I got out of radio. Me and King Snake talk about this a lot. King Snake said, yeah, you know, I've been here from the time. So I remember when I was talking to Skip when King Snake and Jack of Diamond came on the radio. I was already out there. Wow. Those guys moved on up, man. You know what I'm saying? The King of the South. I was talking to him. Yeah, man. He's been there. He was telling me, he said, yeah, you know, GF said, you left radio for about 20 years. That was true. Like I came in radio, man, in 71. I think 85, I got out of radio because we moved. And where I moved, I couldn't put a tower up. So instead of me putting all of my radio equipment in storage, I said, man, I just sold it, man. I got rid of it. And now how I got back in radio. Check this out. Big Motor called me. You know what? Let me tell you about Big Motor. I met him years ago in Detroit. He was calling himself Motorman.
Motorman.
Yeah, I went to his house.
That's the one that was in Vegas and moved down to Georgia, right?
Yes, okay. That's him.
Right.
I went to his house, man, up in Detroit. There was a breakup in Detroit, man. I went up to the break, man. I went by his house, and he was talking on a Johnson transmitter, Johnson 500. and he would make it, feedback on the receiver, like that, right? I looked, I said, man, I sure like that. He said, man, it was a transmitter. I said, get me one of them. So when I came back to Atlanta, I went and bought me a Viking 2 transmitter. And I was doing the same thing that he was doing, making feedback and all this stuff. Then I ended up getting a Collins transmitter. And I talked on that Collins until I got out of radio because it didn't drift. The Johnson would drift off frequency, but Collins would just stay right there. And I enjoyed that radio. But let me tell you, that guy told me a lot. He used to talk all the time, man. He told me a lot about radio. He sure did, man. But
you never have to worry about, you said a while ago, you never have to worry. You said that you'd wake up tomorrow morning and you'd probably hate the fact that you didn't ask certain questions and this and that. I tell you, man, listen, we can all do that because none of us are professionals. When all we're doing is just trying to log some history and get some files and some cabinets here to where we got something from 15 years that somebody can come back to. So, I mean, there's no professionalism that has to be set in stone. But I can't tell what you've been in there and done, so we have to hear it from you, but basically just wanted to get you in here, sit around the table and, just kind of get the Rooster channel jumpers and get them kind of pinpointed down. Cause I got so much feedback from the viewers about the Rooster channel jumpers and who were they and what were they and what did they stand for and where did they come from and how did the bowl start, and we pretty much touched on that. Now, anybody with common sense, can take what you said the way you said it, and they can understand where it went and how it got laid down and formatted. So, I think what you did, you're bringing it to the table the way you brought it to the table. Hats off to you, my brother.
Well, I thank you very much, man. And one more thing I'd like to say, I mentioned that there are Rooster Channel Jumpers chapters that's out there now. Only one I can remember is the one that's in Cincinnati, Ohio, but there are others that's still out here. And I just couldn't find them. But once I find out where they are, I will let you know. I call you and say, look, man, there are some other chapters, Rooster Channel Jumpers that still exist at this day. And I'll let you know on that.
Yeah, man. Hey, real quick, I just want to get a couple questions in for Mr. Godfather, if you don't mind. Simple questions here. Do the Rooster, this question's from, oh, man, I lost it. Donald Fulcher. I don't know his handle. But he said, do the Rooster channel jumpers whistle?
Yeah.
Yeah. And can you work your lips real quick?
Yeah, we used to whistle, man. But we used to whistle all day long, man. It's a guy. We still whistle, man. I don't know more.
You can't do it no more.
No, I can't whistle no more, man. We used to whistle, man. Jack Dime was talking about that the other day. He said when he first got on radio. And I had been talking Skip. When I went off, I whistled the national anthem.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
He said he would never forget that. We used to whistle, man.
That's raw time.
Running Tree out of St. Louis. He had won the bet. Oh, he was a Rooster. Ooh, see things coming back now. Running Tree out of St. Louis. That man could whistle. Oh my goodness, he had a little melody with his whistle, man. Mine was just like, but his was great, man. We whistled, man.
That's
you back. Asked that question. You were back there. You were back there too. You owe us me.
We got another question from Fred and More Fred. Who do you think your biggest competitor is coming up through all these years? Who do you think was their biggest competitor? That's from Fred and More Fred out of Connecticut.
A competitor that's coming out of Georgia talking Skip? That's what
yes,
you're
sir.
talking?
And we're talking about, we get in your opinion because, man, when we think of Georgia, man, we think, you, Sir King of the South, All Power, D-Rail. There's a lot of heavy hammers out there. But who's your? They just want to know who your competitor was.
I don't have no competitors coming out of Georgia. I know what to do. I
like that. See that, Jimmy?
I don't wait till they stop.
He ain't never lied.
Yeah, I don't wait till they stop. Man, the King of the South can control airways. Evan the King can control airways. D-Rail can control airways. Jack Adama can control it. Call who out there now. All these guys has great stations, man. But I never had one of those huge stations. I have always had a good talking station.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I am now. I have a talking station, but I don't fight.
Would it be fair to say that when you built your station, you didn't build it, you know, to whoop another man? You just built it to where a man couldn't whoop you?
But let me tell you, yeah, you never, any new guys getting ready to come on right now, never do this. Never, ever build a station to whoop anybody. Because you're going to
Can you repeat that just one more time, please?
Never, ever build a station to whoop anybody. Because you're going to lose. You're going to cost you a lot of money to build it, and you're going to be very dissatisfied when you get your butt whooped.
Because of what? Lack of, would you say lack of experience?
That's number one, lack of experience. You can to make because you got watts. You're not kin to make because you have the condition. You can to make because you bought this stuff. You can to make to put your name out there because you done spent this money. So you want your name out there. But it ain't your turn to burn. You get whooped.
Right.
Smart comments from a smart man.
You got another comment?
I said that's a smart comment from a smart man. But I got another. Somebody wanted to know if you remember Toolbox out of the Big Band.
Oh yes, I remember Toolbox, man. Toolbox used to come to the breaks on a limousine, sitting in the back seat with a chauffeur driver. Yeah, I remember Toolbox. Yeah, Toolbox a great guy. He was a great guy, man. I remember Toolbox. I sure do, man. All the guys down in the band, I remember them, man. Muse, what's the guy's name? I can't name them. I know all of them, man. I remember when Shaggy Dog at the Commodores, he was down in him and Clyde, he played Robin Hood. I remember all those guys, and they was in Tuskegee. They still, you know, they was on the show, man. But I remember all those guys back in the day.
Wow. So it's like, man, you was hosting breaks when I came into the clique. You know, I mean, for what you've been around and for what you've done and hosting breaks and being a part of different clubs and helping different clubs, do you think you've accomplished most of all you've wanted to accomplish or what you set out to accomplish?
Yes, I really do, man. I like one thing. I like to have them. I love the microphones, man. I love to talk on the radio. I love to talk on the microphone. I love the MC. And I was like that in high school. I sure was. And I had told my mom, I said, I'm going to get me a radio station. She said, okay. I did it. I got a job here in Atlanta, WAOK, man, at a radio station. And I enjoyed every minute of that. I started out working in news. And then I ended up working as a part-time DJ and stuff like that. But it was a lot.
How many years would you say you got in commercial broadcast?
Probably 12. Only 12 years, man, and I got out of it.
Yeah.
Well, I went to radio. That was an amazing thing. I went to radio school here in Atlanta. That's where I graduated. I graduated from one of the radio schools here in Atlanta. And I had a problem with my advisor because you had to write a show. And the next morning you come in, we were going to air. We had a transmitter that ran off. You remember those big old flashlight batteries?
Oh, the Maglite. You talking about the Maglites?
The little flashlight batteries, the round flashlight batteries.
I don't know. You might be past my ear.
Our transmitter ran off those batteries, man, and you can hear us about 2 blocks from the school. You had to write your show. You bring it in. When it's time you to go on the air, the show that you wrote, you give it to to your teacher. Then you go in and go on the air. You do your show for 1 hour. I would come out of the show and I flunked everything. You know why? Everything that I wrote that night before that I gave to him when I went in the studio, it was nothing on that paper that I said on the air.
It went out the window.
Because I could, and everything I did on air was tight, perfect. Everything was right. All the live commercials were straight. But I didn't do nothing because the music that I had to play last night, I didn't feel like that the next day. So it didn't work.
Yeah.
So I had a problem doing that, man. He said he didn't see how I could do it, but that's the way it was, man. It was a lot of fun. So I've been around in microphones for a long time, man.
That's awesome.
But it's nothing like CB radio.
That's right.
Believe me, I love it.
Another quick question. This is from 249 out of South Carolina. He said, Are you surprised that something out of necessity going to the bowl, Channel 6 turned into the largest CB followings, and what else? And has broken racial barriers and has left, and you guys such as yourself have left a CB legacy that will last a lifetime. Are you excited that something out of necessity going to the bowl has broken all racial barriers now in 2023?
I don't repeat. I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm glad to have everybody down the bowl. There are a lot of people that's down here. I don't repeat that question because I didn't get that.
Oh, he asked, are you surprised that something out of necessity, and I remember how you guys had to go to Channel 6, turned into the largest CB following now presently and has broken racial barriers, and you guys doing so?
Hey man, that is beautiful. That's great. I think he's right on. I think that's correct on that, man. I think racial barriers has been broken. And I think the guys that's on the Super Bowl now, man, everybody's enjoying it. You don't hear a whole bunch of crap. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then, it's an idiot going to be somewhere all the time. but overall, nope. I think the Super Bowl is doing great.
Well, I mean,
go ahead, Jim.
I have to put this in there, because it's just the way I feel. I feel like, okay, so if you come into an all African American hobby, not as far, I'm talking about the bowl. So everybody that when you think of the bowl, you know and understand that it's based on African American radio operators. So if you have Caucasian guys that want to come to that bowl, I would say 99.9% of those dudes that's on the radio and on that channel, they want to be there. They want, however they got to do, if their game's off, if their swagger's not being, or if it's not on point, but the 4, the 5, or the 7 that is there, they want to be there. And it's the same. And I've always said that in Pow Talk too. If they're in Pow Talk and they're affiliating with the group, then you got to step back and you got to say those guys want to be here.
I agree. And what it boils down to, I don't care what color you are. If you in my radio, I'm talking back to you.
That's 100.
That's the name of the game.
Yep.
You don't have time to think about what color nobody is. If the guy is in your radio, you either talk to him or you're not going to talk to nobody else because you're going to plug your ears up anyhow. So.
Well, you wouldn't want to be me the other day because I called a guy up and I was shopping for the show, and I mean the first question that guy asked me, he said, what are you a Democrat or Republican?
Oh my goodness!
When I called you up, that's not what I asked you. The first question I asked you is, I said, Godfather, this is the platform, this is our show. I said, would you be willing to entertain this idea? I said, can I explain it to you? Can I take the time? And you said, yes, sir, I want to hear it. And I told you, I said, don't take my word for it. Don't take 413's word. Go and look at the past shows all the way back to the preview. And that's exactly what you did, So
I looked at all of those shows, man. I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed you and Crack. I enjoyed the one other night, man.
Foxy,
man, it was awesome.
Foxy.
Miss Foxy. Oh, let me tell you a story about that. Okay, check this out.
Come on. Her daughter's up in here, by the way.
Oh yeah, hello, how you doing? But anyway, we was at a break. I can't remember where it was, but me and Easy Rider, God bless the dead. Me and Easy Rider always were together at the breaks. So we was out there talking one day, and Miss Fox was doing something to somebody's amplifier. And when she stopped talking, Easy started talking to her, and he introduced me to her. So I was glad to meet her. We was talking. So he looked at me. He said, "Godfather, a lot of guys got technicians, but there ain't nobody got a technician like I got it." What you mean? He said, "I can kiss my technician."
I'd be damned.
I see. You got a point there.
No, it really was to have her, and I mean 413, he did an excellent job interviewing her. I kind of leaned back on that because I just, I don't know a lot about DC stuff, when I came into it, I came into AC. So I just kind of leaned back in the knowledge that she brought to the table as being a female and a box builder at that, and what she had accomplished. I mean, it was mind blowing to me, but it was a great time to be present with her.
Yeah,
Well,
and getting back to you guys coming in and like you said, now we got a lot of people. We got the guys from Puerto Rico where I started on 26715. You got a lot of guys from Puerto Rico, from the islands coming on the bowl. You got a lot of guys from Bermuda, the Blue Waters, Barbados. Now in the morning time down here in Florida, I don't know what you listen to in Georgia over in Atlanta, but sometimes you could turn your beam, like if you're going northeast, and I could hear the guys in Scotland talking on the bowl, hollering for us guys, So there's a whole new plethora that they've been there, but we really haven't really recognized them. The guys in Australia, Hippopotamus, all the guys down there, they're coming, Hawaii. So it's kind of open. You guys paved the way for pretty much everybody to get on the band as long as we do some good talking. Now I got a question from old Pocket Change. He said, "What's the difference between a good 5 and a bad 5?"
What's the difference between what?
A good 5 and a pass 5 being passed off.
A good 5 and a pass 5. Oh, I tell you what it is. There's no difference. It's a 5. You can accept it however you want it, but it's a 5. When you and your mate, if the guy told you to tell Godfather say good morning, that's a friendly 5, dog, that's a 5. Excuse me. That's a 5. It's no difference. It's a 5. But what you do, you sweeten it up and say it's a friendly 5.
Yeah.
It's a 5. I'm a friendly 5. That's what it's
Let me ask you this: Will you roll most of all 5s, or is there just some 5s you're not going to pass?
Some 5s I'm not going to pass, man. I have guys tell 5s to tell me to tell somebody a whole bunch of stuff, man. I'll tell them on the airway, man. I don't pass 5s like that, man. I'm not going to pass a 5 I'm not going to pass no dirty 5 to nobody.
Right.
I tell them, hello, welcome to the weekend, hello, all this stuff. Some funny 5s I would pass, as long as it's not ugly, dirty 5 that's going to degrade somebody. I'm not going to pass them. I told who I was talking to. Oh, me and Craig was talking. I can tell Craig, because me and him talked about this. Craig told me to tell a dude to do something. I said, Craig, do you realize who you're talking to? I said, man, I don't pass 5 like that. He said, hell, I know you wasn't going to pass it. You ain't going to pass it. King Shaq won't pass it. And every king won't pass them kind of 5. But I'm going to say it again anyhow.
There you go. There you go.
I ain't going to pass it, man.
In your words, I'm probably mostly everybody that comes on the show and be a part of this. I have to put this out there because this means something to me when I ask this, because nobody's promised tomorrow.
That's true.
In your words, what would you want to be remembered as and thought as of a CB operator of the bowl? Kind of like what do you want to be remembered as?
I like to be remembered as one of the nicest guys on radio. A guy that's just plain. I love people, and I like people. I think people that love me when I'm around them and talk to them. I'm a guy that I'm not going to hurt anybody, and I hold on to nobody hurt. I just want guys to remember me as one of the nicest guys on the radio.
Right. And you feel like you've accomplished pretty much everything that you wanted to do and set out to do on the radio.
Yes. There's nothing else I can do on radio but what I'm doing right now. I can't put no bigger amplifier over here. That's not going to work. I ain't getting ready to move at 75. So, hey, I've done everything I could do.
Right. Well, like I say, I want to thank you one more time for taking the time, picking up the phone call, and thank you for not asking me if I was a Democrat or a Republican. Man, I'm going to talk about that for weeks. From where I come from and where I was born, man, that's a crazy question to ask somebody. I'm still on the young version anyway, so there's a lot of stuff that I think different of. But, listen, man, super 10-8 dude. Man, you're a role model. You're somebody to look up to. I've seen, like I say, when I come into the breaks, you were the first person I look up there. You're all suited up, GQ clean, and man, your talk game's dead on point, and you run those breaks, and you're a good talk host. You're somebody that I can learn something from. So I just want to personally thank you for coming on our show.
Okay, one thing I want to say, I want to thank you. I want to thank your wife and everybody that helped to get me on. The producer that helped to get me on because I was having some problems over here. I kind of got it figured out, and y'all helped me figure it out. Anything. I want to thank them. And by the way, I will see you guys. I will be down in Augusta too. I'll be emceeing that break in Augusta. So
okay,
I'll see you all there, man. And I thank you all very much. And I think you got a great show going on. And I'm not going to miss them, man. Y'all take care of yourself. Yeah, man. Y'all doing a great job.
We thank you. We thank you for coming on because we've been reaching out to a couple guys, older guys, and they're like, well, let me see how it goes. I think they're scared we're going to put them in a trick bag or something and start talking. But what we really are trying to do is get the history of the bowl. And you pretty much summed up the channel rule. So we really appreciate that. Great host. Man, love the voice. What is it? GN Network? What is it that you always say?
GVN, the Golden Voice Network. Click.
There you go. There you have it. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming on.
All right,
God bless you. God bless you, Godfather. Take care, man. Take care.
Right.
Man, what an awesome man, bro. What an awesome operator. What an awesome man. And a plethora of information, man. That's some good stuff, bro.
A lot of knowledge, and I just sit back and as these shows as these shows roll, I'm getting more and more comfortable. I'm getting more and more relaxed, and I'm, kind of learning is where we're going. And this is a learning process for me, a learning process for you. But the knowledge that some of these guys got, and if some of the older guys are in the room and you're watching this show, then now you see what we're doing, and you see this is not a trick bag. This ain't Jimmy from Power Talk, even though I got a photographic mind, and you tell me, that, you was down there at the sugar mine and all this shit. And I really know you was out there doing this and doing that. Okay,
we're going to shut you out.
I'll leave all that alone.
You're safe here.
You're safe here. You're safe here. You're safe till a certain time. I might park and go that way, but I'll announce it when I get ready to go that way. But I don't forget shit. Don't ever forget that. I don't forget shit. So if you say something, it goes in my brain. So I will use it against you at a point in time.
For sure, man. Hey, well, thanks for joining in, guys. Appreciate y'all. Next week, we're going to have some good guests also. And, man, just super excited.
He was well pleased. He be base killing 55 G's, and now they threatening folks to get fame.
Your ass when I get to the grave.
I'm gonna step out of here. Everybody, shout out to the Prime Minister. Shout out to the United Kingdom. Shout out to all the boys in Puerto Rico. Shout out to Barbados. Shout out to the Bahama Islands, the Grand Bahamas, Nassau. Shout out to I forgot his doggone handle. Frank Lucas, shout out to him for doing what you do. Keep doing it. We love you, brother. Hey, everybody, you top to the bottom. God bless you and may God keep you. Jimmy's clear. Catch y'all later.
Cause the hammer hits hard.
It's like Super Bowl. It's where the bosses roll. It's full of superstars and hammers hit so hard.
The Cold War is here. Who's your idol? Everybody's upgrading, waiting for the cycle, buying DBI and Skullcracker beans, big bluegill amps, and Dave made things. And Ghost Rider Maiders hitting Florida streets, big CC maids and Sneaky Pete's, them getaway drivers and the trouble maids. It's for the love of the game, nobody getting paid. We build weapons, you pay or keep stepping. To get that more, you keep stretching. They say CB stands for constantly broken, constantly buying, so start buying and quit crying, duck. Complaints of a paper boss. Y'all talks to y'all's friends and put it in pal talk. And to avoid the gates, here's your 99. I can't afford a computer, hard time. But you run a 3CX $1,500,000 motorhome, staying clean. The truth, if you own a computer, you will hear the evidence and know your future. Cause every day you're gonna get skull dragged by the same panel wagon with the rusted mags. I apologize for pulling your duck card, but I understand, man. Cause the hammer hits hard.
I don't wait on a thing. I'll never wait on another man. At Groundhog, I got a first lady, and she's one beautiful black woman. Strong black woman. So I wait on no Kelly-making man. Mr. No Pity, me in Virginia. Big man on a big man's radio is right here, right back, breaker.
This is the Super Bowl. It's where the bosses roll. It's full of superstars and hammers hit so
bucks among us. What the game done brung us? A whole lot of bosses and mud runners. So I'ma break it all down. And if you fit one of these cliques, go on and be proud. You got bullies, big boys, mud ducks, and heavy hitters. Got a brand new clique called the Bully Killers. Got the 50-foot Nova Club. These beams is big, but them quad boys is hating us. John Deere is the leader of the Plastiques, Cobras, and Galaxies. Love him because he brings heat. But I'm a member of the broadcast clique. These glow-in-the-dark boat anchors is the shit. Mean Pill and the big white boys. To hell with electric bills, they bringing the big noise. Can't forget about the crybabies. Always crying about conditions in your position. Now quit bitching. And the bass killing mobiles. They be creeping around the hood, hitting water in big heels. Plus the hoop and holler click. They yelling 111 worldwide, then they split. Why? Because the amps break down. Got the carrier turned up, the nose plug sound. Crack Carter is the leader of the Tram Nation. And if you got a station, key it up. The hammer hits hard.
I ain't playing with Lucky Star, I ain't playing with Hard Power, I ain't playing with none of these niggas. They gotta recognize, they gotta recognize, they gotta recognize. We get away driver come off this Gold Coast, and I come down here to the 30-30. This ain't no joke, I ain't playing. Get away driver, West Coast technology.
I accomplished my mission. I got you put on the water gate. I'ma cut it, paste it, and send it to Prime on their camping and amp. The #1 bully, Detroit. Have a good day. Hey, make a smile. You need to fix your audio because it's not right unless the golden numbers are getting on down. Him got condition? Oops, did I do that?
Look at that. Murder Mouth, can you say bulldozer? All right, Murder Mouth, more bulldozer way down on the wavelength. Come on. I just got my ear picked up. But if you got a sloppy copy, hello to your medicine man. 4 aces, great laces, back on the man. My house is in the dark, but I'm in the park playing in this town truck. And take care, U.S. Marshal. Take care, 2120. The Lord of the Apollo Truck Nation pumping this thing down and stepping out.
Well, good Lord, me, my mother, I didn't hear you in there at the beginning. I'm over my mouth because CC had this milk shut in Kenwood jelly tight. Hello, to your motor mouth mall somewhere around California. The stuff rain in the organ in the mouth.
I know I should have mentioned